All right, welcome back to the fourth quarter. Hands are up. Everyone say four. Yeah, that's right. My four fingers are up as I hold up because the fourth quarter is all about dominating the fourth quarter. And this is the personal section. And I'm going to stick to the football theme today because it is the Super Bowl episode of the Impact Show. And isn't it fitting? Because, when I think about the personal section of the Super Bowl and how so many memories are going to be made from this for a lifetime between players and their families and everything else. Um, a season is long, and then you go into playoffs. It's long, and when I was preparing for this, it just happened to be after the game that the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills. And I was thinking about my good friend Sean McDermott. Sean's the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. The Bills lost 32-29 in the championship game in Kansas City. It was a freezing cold game. And I know how many people, if you're not a Kansas City fan, it's like the world against Kansas City, because when you're going for a three-peat, everyone's for, the Bills or whoever the Chiefs are playing. And, you're like, I don't know. But here's what I would say is Sean McDermott, and by the way, I'll put it in the show notes. Sean McDermott was a guest on the Impact Show a couple years back, and Sean went to my alma mater, William and Mary. Him and Mike Tomlin both. Sean was 2 years younger than me. Mike Tomlin was a year younger than me, and I say that because Sean has done a remarkable job with the Buffalo Bills. This week's not about the Buffalo Bills, but it makes me think about this. People don't remember who lost in the Super Bowl. Heck, do you even know who played in the Super Bowl last year or who lost in the Super Bowl? You probably know that the Chiefs played in the Super Bowl last year and won, but who they beat? Anyone remember that? Probably not, unless it was your team, because most people don't remember who played in last year's Super Bowl. Now, next year, you may not know who lost in the Super Bowl because you don't remember, because it doesn't matter, because all they ever talk about is who won the Super Bowl. So here's what I want to leave you with in the personal section and how it deals with everything that we do in life and in business on that. And these are 3 lessons, authentic lessons. Number 1, remember this. It's all about the process. Immerse in the process of greatness. Immerse in the process of getting to the Super Bowl. And I ask you, like, your Super Bowl, what's your Super Bowl? You're probably never going to have the opportunity to play in the actual Super Bowl unless you're somewhere between the age of 14 and let's say 30 and you play football at a very high level. Your Super Bowl is going to be looking a lot different than the one coming up this Sunday as this podcast drops. Number 2 is know this: success breeds success. Just like when I was talking earlier on about discipline and everything that comes along with discipline, is success breeds success. Success is a feeling. Success is getting momentum. And Uncle Mo is important, as I stated earlier. We got to get momentum going in our businesses, in our lives, in our relationships. How do you get momentum going? That's the $1 million question. Is we got to stack small wins. Stack small wins. Think about the Super Bowl a few years back when the Patriots were down 27-3 and came back and won. Who would have ever thunk that? It was like one play at a time. Let's win the play, win the play, win the play, win the drive, win the drive, win the drive, touchdown, win the play, win the play, win the play, win the play, touchdown, next drive. Like, start with small wins. Right now in your life, what are some really small wins that you can start to stack and let them grow? Get hot. When that team is hot, they're hard to stop. Well, how do you get hot with what you're doing? Habits. It goes back to quarter number 2 and stacking those habits and your health set and the mindset. That's why we changed the whole program up right now in this season of the podcast. It's a Super Bowl season that we're in. So when I think about those things of it's all about the process, 1, 2, success breeds success. And the third and final one I share is this: show up and play all out. That's all I can ask of you and me, is that we show up and we play all out. All out. Like, victory isn't always just about the scoreboard. Now, I know you're going to yes, it is, Todd, because they're going to forget about you because second place is the first loser and all that other stuff you're going to say. But When I say show up and play all out, it's about how you show up when the stakes are high. How do you show up when the stakes are high? How are you showing up as your best self? What I want to know is, what are you doing on the little things? So whatever it takes. So my invitation for you is this. I want you to think about your own Super Bowl moment. It could be a crucial presentation that you have coming up. It could be a health goal that you want to achieve in the next 18 weeks. What's that health goal? Maybe it's a relationship milestone that you want to hit, or you've got an anniversary, big anniversary coming up. Like this month, I've got my 24th wedding anniversary. Is that possible? It means I'm going on 25 years of marriage. That's a big milestone. That's a Super Bowl win right there. But how will you show up like a champion with all the small things and the big things you got going on? And how do you stay so uber focused to do what you got to do? You know, I think back to Super Bowl moments. I think of like my own Super Bowl moments. Like, I want you to think about your Super Bowl moments in your life. What are one or two or even three of your Super Bowl moments, big moments in your life? Now, I'm going to take away marriage. I'm going to take away kids, because obviously if you have kids, that's a Super Bowl moment. Getting married, well, hopefully it was a Super Bowl moment. Some of you are like, no, that wasn't so good. It wasn't Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl moment that turned to a nightmare, but that's another story. Hopefully it was a Super Bowl moment and still serves as a Super Bowl moment. For me, besides marriage, as I said, and having three kids, professionally, being on Strong on NBC, Super Bowl moment. That was 3 months of just living the Super Bowl and being really locked in to that goal. Heck, Breezy winning the Super Bowl in 2010 and getting named the Super Bowl MVP. That was my first Super Bowl experience, and that allowed me to get my training career to the next level, and allowed me to sign a book deal where I signed the Impact Body Plan with Rodale and Men's Health, and wrote that book, my first of 5, soon to be 6 books. Heck, the following year, Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl, and I trained him that offseason. And in 2011, he won the Super Bowl and the MVP. We had back-to-back Super Bowl winners and MVPs in 2010 and 2011. I look at my run at Fitness Quest 10 as a Super Bowl run of 25 years now of that, because of the team we've been around. And, you know, even right now, the big Super Bowl run I'm on is a big one. It's called Impact X Performance. You know, constantly working and strategizing and serving and laying the foundation right now for what is my next Super Bowl run. And I believe you need to have these seasons where you have different runs. For me right now, my run is all about Impact X Performance and trying to really amplify the light inside of our current 7 locations that I've shared. I've got rapid plans for growth here in 2025, but that's the next Super Bowl run of how do we ultimately hit the goal we want to hit, to have hundreds in several years from now, where there's lighthouses all over the country. And I hope that you can join the forces in one way, whether you're part of the Impact X Performance franchise team, or you have your own gym, or you're like, let's be that light. But sometimes those runs become long and storied runs and Super Bowl moments. And sometimes they become dynasties. Look at what a Tom Brady has done. Look at what even a Patrick Mahomes is on the verge of doing. Personally, that's what I'm hoping for, is a run where we've had Fitness Quest 10 and that continues to flourish. And then we're now going to spread our wings and spread the impact globally. That's what I'm hoping for. But sometimes that doesn't happen and you have to retool. And that's okay too. Like, it's okay as your defeats always lead to your big wins. So if you've been defeated or you're down today, know that it's not the end. It's not the end. And that to me marks the mark of a true champion, right? Like, that's what it takes. So my friends, the action step that I want you to take here on the personal side is define your Super Bowl moment that you're on right now. What's the Super Bowl run that you're on right now? Not just the moment, but what is the run you're on right now to create your next Super Bowl moment? What is that? See it, visualize it, work for it. Do all the things I talked about today that the athletes are doing this week and have done all season long. Because another week from now, as a matter of fact, next week when I log into the podcast and drop it, it's all about how do you take momentum and seize momentum in your business, in your life. And I'm gonna go deeper on that aspect of it. But with that being said, it sounds to me like it's time for my Super Bowl prediction. Yep, I've got a prediction. I know who's going to win the game, and I know you all think you think I'm going to say, but I actually know I'm not going to predict who's going to win. I'll predict the score, and I'll predict the MVP. And I'd like for you to do the same exact thing. I want you to predict who's going to win, the score, and the MVP. Now, I know 80% of you are going to be like, oh, the Chiefs. And you're going to say Patrick Mahomes or Kelsey's going to be the MVP. I understand. You can do that if you'd like to. But my prediction, straight out of South Jersey, that's right, my friends, we have, in an upset, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Shock the world with a 37-28 win down in New Orleans, down in the Bayou. The Eagles and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and team absolutely dominate the Chiefs up front. They're killing them with the counter. They're killing them with the run. Jalen Hurts on the outside. Jalen Hurts on the inside. Saquon Barkley, he's spinning. He's jumping. He's hopping on 2 legs and 1 leg. He scores 3 touchdowns. And the MVP is a co-MVP? That's right. We have a co-MVP this year of Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. There you have it, my friends. Eagles 37, Chiefs 28, Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts with your co-MVP. My friends, thank you for joining in today on another episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show. Hey, this wasn't just another one. This is episode 411, the 411. And the 411 was all about a Super Bowl experience. I hope you enjoyed bringing a Super Bowl mindset from the gridiron to your life. Until next time, remember, train hard, eat right, live inspired, create impact, and go create your Super Bowl run starting right now. God bless y'all. I love you, and I can't wait to see you next week when we dive into creating a post-Super Bowl action plan to transform your game day hype into lasting momentum. Peace. We out.